Okay, what we're going to be getting into next is to solving natural log equations, but before we look at the steps of that, there's one of the properties, again from earlier, that I want to refresh your memory on. This is the property that we had used earlier, and the whole key to this property is this and this being exactly the same thing. So if these two things are exactly the same, they're both 5s as an example, then it's going to be equal to whatever this exponent is, okay? So that same property can be applied even to your natural log. Okay, so what I have in the location of these b's over here, I have e's. Because remember, if this is ln, your subscript here is an understood e. So since these are both e's, then this will just be equal to whatever the exponent is, okay? So applying that rule to this example, so you're told to simplify this. Okay, again, ln means that my subscript, my base, is an understood e. So since these are exactly the same, this natural log will be equal to whatever the exponent is, which in this case is 8. So this is actually going to be one of the steps that we're going to end up doing as we work these equations. So that's why I wanted to refresh your memory on those. Okay, here's you a list of steps for solving your natural log equation that you need to write down. First of all, it says to isolate the natural log on one side. So on one side of your equation, you're going to have your natural log term, and then it is going to just end up being equal to a number. Okay, so similar to what we saw in the previous section with the other log equations. Okay, step 2 is going to be the same as it was before. You're going to change it to exponential form, and once you change it to exponential form, then you'll just follow the normal steps for solving for x. And last, don't forget to check your answer. Same as before, when you're dealing with logs, it doesn't matter whether it's common log, natural log, whichever the situation is, you've got to check your answer, okay? When you plug it back into that argument, it can't make it negative, okay? All right, first example here. As far as step 1, I don't have to worry about step 1 because my natural log term is on one side by itself. So I actually get to start this one by going to step 2. Now remember, your base, your subscript is going to be an understood e. So when I go to change this to exponential form, then I would have e to the 4th power. So it's always your base raised to this power equal to this. So therefore it would be equal to x. So your exact answer would be e to the 4th, but you'll just have to follow your instructions in Math Excel as far as how to round. I don't remember specifically what it asked for, but when you enter this in your calculator, your ln, if you find your ln key, see right above it is your e to the x, which we had used before. So you would need to do second. You need to hit your second function and then hit the ln key. So that's going to give you your e. Of course, you're going to raise this to the 4th power. So I'll keep, say, 3 decimal places. So if I keep 3 decimal places, which would be to the nearest thousand, I would have 54.598. And like I said, you'll just need to read the instructions in Math Excel as to your rounding, okay? Now to check this, of course here, your argument is just this x. This is a positive number, so if I plug that in, then that would be the natural log of a positive. So that answer would end up checking. Next. Okay, so again, step 1 is done for me here. My natural log is on one side by itself. Of course, this is an understood e for my base. So I'm going to change it to exponential form. So I would have e to the second power is equal to 2x minus 1. All right, so now we've got a few steps that we've got to take here to be able to get x by itself. So add your 1, so you'd have e squared plus 1 is equal to 2x, and then you'll have to divide by 2. So e squared plus 1 divided by 2. So of course that would be your exact answer. So putting this in your calculator. If you're going to put this all in one step, you do need to put parentheses around your numerator here. So open parentheses and then second ln, because that's going to give you your e squared plus 1. Now remember, you are putting a set of parentheses around the whole numerator. And then you need to divide by 2. So if I were to round this to 3 decimal places, like I did earlier, then I would have about 4.195. So this would be approximately 4.195. Okay, now as far as checking it, okay, so remember this is just a little over 4. So if I do a positive 2 times the positive 4, that'll give me a little over 8, okay? And then I'll have 8 minus 1, so that'll give me a little over 7. I mean, you can actually put it in your calculator and do 2 times this minus 1, but it's still going to end up giving you something that is positive, okay?